Hey man, how you doing?
What's up?
I'm just here, man. I'm looking to learn a little bit of wisdom, and it seems like you got some. You got a second to answer a question for me?
Sure, let's do it.
Now, do you remember the first time you made 100 grand in a year?
Yeah, I was in college.
In college, like
I started in financial services in June of 1998 when I was 19 years old. Didn't make it that year. I made almost 24 grand that year, which back then was a decent amount of money. But it was my last year of college where I made that money.
So how do you make 100 grand a year in college?
I was in financial services, and honestly, I was peddling life insurance and mutual funds, so it's shameful. It's not anything that I'm proud of today, but it got me in my start.
Interesting. Well, hey man, how you start isn't always how you finish, right?
Yeah.
So, question for you: do you remember the first time that you made 100 grand in a month?
Yeah, definitely. Let's see, when would that have been? Man, I don't know if I remember the first time.
No, not in a month. What about in
No.
a day?
Yeah, I definitely remember that.
Okay, you got to tell me the story, man.
I just remember this guy was working with my firm, and he had paid 35 grand to do it. He goes, "Hey, what would it take to just like have access over a lifetime?" I'm like, 150 grand. Like I should have said more. And he's like, done. So he wired the money that day.
What do you mean access for a lifetime?
He just wanted to be able to like call me, talk to me about financial decisions he was making and stuff like that. And yeah.
And now, does he still call you to this day?
Yeah, we talk. It's not like a lot of time, but this guy's a fierce implementer. So yeah.
Interesting. So what types of things would you have a conversation with about for someone that's paying 150 grand for access?
He might have been like, hey, I'm looking to sell this house, buy another house. Hey, I'm looking to expand my business. Hey, what other ways can I make money without having to work harder? Those kind of conversations.
Interesting. So how did you become so legendary?
How do I save on tax?
So how did you become so legendary that people want to call you and ask you these questions?
Look, man, you write books, people read the books, and then they hire you and you get them results. And when the results happen quickly, then, he knew that this is a guy that appreciates results, doesn't worry about time and effort. So perfect type of situation.
Interesting. So if someone that's never made 100 grand before would want to come up to you and ask, hey, what type of things would you advise if I'm looking to make my first 100 grand? Or if I want to get into financial services like you are, how would they get started?
Look, man, you got to figure out your skill sets and really double down and invest in those. I was in college and I spent $5,000 to learn about the software and also to learn about this whole financial program. So I actually deeply got engaged, and I was young, so I asked people that were more successful how they did it. So it's really just about exposing what your best characteristics and skill sets are, doubling down on that versus just working harder.
So what would you say a common misconception is for people that want to get started with this?
With what?
Learning more about financial services, learning more about making money, learning more about how to take their life to the next level.
For me, I was just young, so people thought, oh, you're young, you're not going to be, it's going to be tough on you. But the thing is, I was young, and I could get people to talk to me that might not have talked to me if I was 30 years old because they thought it was cool that such a young person was on this quest for knowledge. And my first quest was for myself because I'm like, I want to make money implementing what I do, not just teaching what I do. I want to become a good investor, and I went down that path. And so I was I had a little red memo pad, and I used to just go ask questions. I'd fly to New York. I'd meet with people that were there, and they were cool. Take me out to lunch a lot of times, sit down with me because I appreciated the time and I did something with the information.
And what was that first big investment that you would say you made?
Well, I think it was the $5 grand that I did, but I bought I bought a townhome that was a duplex. I bought the townhome when I was 19 years old. So I got a champ loan, covered down payment, rented out to my roommates, was an asshole if they didn't pay rent, put alarms under their bed, learned that it sucked to be a landlord, so yeah.
Interesting. And Garrett, quick question before you go.
Remember, you lied to me. You said 2 minutes. This has been at least 4. So one of the things is if you ask someone to do something, under-ask, not over-ask.
You're right. And I do apologize, and I know your time is very expensive.
So I'm just trying to help you out with some advice here, man.
So I just want to say thank you so much. That was great advice, actually.
I've been giving you crap the last 2 days. It's part of who I am. You know you're going to get that, right?
100%. It's a part of it.
Plus, you live in Canada, so I have to double down on teasing you.
So quick question for you for all our fellow Canadians.
What quick question? I don't believe you anymore. Quick question. This has been a long interview that you said was going to take a couple minutes. I'm going to miss my flight.
And Garrett, we only got 1 hour left. But
yeah.
Where can people find you if they want to learn more about you?
Garrett.live, and go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks, man.
Thanks so much, Garrett.